Yeah, unfortunately, not working out for you guys. Just real quick, I mean, how do you guys feel? Like, how is Sync right now? How is Sync feeling right now as far as you guys and your
Oh
play?
wow. I'll just say we'll we'll see.
Okay,
I don't really want to go into it too much right now,
all
but
right.
I think there's gonna be good and bad news coming up from us. So yeah, I don't want to talk about it too much.
Let's
You'll see.
focus on the grand finals then. Let's focus
Yeah.
on that. All right, so we got the two teams here. Obviously, again, Racing Gaming versus Complexity. We already got plenty of draft to talk about, so let's just get right into that part. The initial bands: Ravener, Warbies, Tremble, and Parasite taken out. Imba respecting Formless quite a bit right there, with not only the Ravener but the Tremble we saw earlier today. Behemoth first pick in a Midas, Puppet into Swiftblade, Ophelia into that Moira. Sure, Kim, we'll start with you. What do you think of the draft here so far?
They let Ophelia through for the third pick for a reason. So, I mean, both teams were confident that they were going to get it. Like, they didn't expect what you got to be playing it, which is fair enough. But what you got isn't, a stranger to that hero either. So that was interesting to me. But they really are just valuing the Puppet Master and the Behemoth, which is fair enough considering their history with those two heroes.
Yeah, pretty damn good one. And the value of the first pick Behemoth, reason definitely one of those teams to do that. Near back, by the way, as well. Chieli, of course, he's been ringing for them quite a bit here throughout this event with Near on vacation. But Near is officially their fifth, and it's not like he left the team by any means. Again, he was just on vacation. But he is back now. Chieli ring very well for them, but I'm sure it's good to have him back as well for them. Insania, though, what is your take on the draft here?
I like the way both teams are drafting. Usually we see like a lot of these heroes banned out and like Ophelia, Moira. I like the teams are finally figuring out which heroes are good against each other. Like out of the top tier, what do I want? If I give up an Ophelia, how do I deal with it? Instead of just banning the heroes out. And it provides a more interesting hero pool and it gives more depth to the bands. For example, you see heroes like Tremble band and Ravenor band,
Mm-hmm.
and instead Ophelia and stuff opened up because teams feel like I know how to deal with it, and therefore it becomes a lot of mind games in the drafts, and it's going to be interesting. I personally really like what Reason Gaming has going for them. I think Aluna is one of the most underrated support heroes at the moment, and ever since the buff to her stun, she seems incredibly strong. And this is very comfortable for Reason. I feel like all five of their players are going to be on very comfortable heroes.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, I think Nier also, I just want to point it out, he is one of the guys that I kind of feel like hasn't gotten a lot of attention, but he plays so well. So it'd be cool if you keep an extra eye on him this game.
All right, we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably going to get his hands on a Luna here. He is a great Behemoth player, but I don't know if we're going to see Matthias necessarily doing the support role for them here. Of course, Tankafed, definitely going to be that Ophelia for Reason Gaming here. They're thinking about a jungler, apparently, as their final pick on the side of Complexity. The right click on the Tempest here. And there you go. It is official. So we have our five-man lineups for either side. They go with the Tempest. A lot of wombo combo potential. There is no staff for the Master effect on Moraxis yet, as Waza hinting at right there. There's possible to come, but only going to see a couple of axes flying around, not crazy amounts flying around. Insania, were you listening to that, by the way?
No, I missed out.
Waza, he was leaking some stuff, and including some staff for the Master effects and some testing staff effects. Anyways.
All right, all right.
All right. So the final pick, Tempest, though. What do you guys think?
Well, Tempest is not a hero we see on What You Got often. It does, as you said, go for the whole wombo combo idea. And honestly, it really just fits in with Complexity. Just go for the late game, keep it safe, dodge. I mean, we saw that last series as well, where it almost felt like everything was being forced by Sync, and I think that was ultimately what led to their downfall. But yeah, maybe not so much in the second game, more so in the first game. But yeah, we'll see how What You Got comes along with this hero. Insania?
I think you're right. It was very forced versus coL. They were playing very well today. I think this was the first time we ever lose to them in a series.
Mm-hmm.
And they were just one step ahead. I think this is, when you look at coL's playstyle, they like to go for this kind of a split push, dodge, avoid the enemy team for as long as possible, try to farm up items. And when it works out for them, they need to be one step ahead for it to work out. They need to try to predict the other team's movement, be like, okay, what's Ophelia's next move? Where is she going to be next? What is Reason Gaming's next step? And then just be on complete other places of the map. So, for example, in this game, I think the key factors is going to be when does Ophelia start pressuring the short lane towers, and how does Complexity respond? And if they manage to get tower trades and avoid Reason, they're going to feel happy. Regardless of what the drafts look like, that's their general strategy no matter what. So for them, I think it's a lot about avoiding fights, trying to get to core items, finish up the items that they need on all the heroes, and then force the fights. Get the blink on Meraxes, get Midas's blink before trying to look for fights. Whereas Reason is the other way around. They want to fight early on. They want to take these 5-10 minute skirmishes at towers. They want Complexity to defend, and they want them to be there. So I think it all comes down to how coL approaches the game.
All right, well, the laning phase kicking off right here. You see either side not necessarily going to interact with one another at the beginning of this game. Instead, going to go to their own jungles, protected here. Behemoth, Matthias on the Behemoth. Again, not maybe usually his hero of choice, but going to be playing it here and going the boots first even on him. So, and actually, that's I guess I was kind of expecting more of the middle Behemoth here, but I know with the boots.
They really want to secure farm on the Drunken Master because I feel that without that hero getting any farm at all, it's just it falls off so fast. So securing some farm on the mid lane Drunken Master by having more of a roaming, Behemoth, that's really gonna allow them to do a lot more with that Drunken Master pick because they really need him to, I think, counter the Swiftblade in a way because they know how scary Formless can be when he gets that 750 GPM versus Mystery Gang. But enough about that, right?
Yeah, he's done that several times. Yeah, and again, even earlier today against the 6 series, he once again kind of continuing that momentum. He's been off the charts lately as far as just farming very well for his team. So you do see Behemoth blocking the initial camp coming out. Going to do it again right here, at least try. We'll see if, yeah, not the most difficult thing to do. So. Isn't the strategy? Do you actually usually want to let the archer go? Ideally,
it depends on what your approach is in the lane. When you double block the wave like this, you're going to get the lane very close to your tower, and you're going to be able to sit here and leech XP. As you see, it's close to his tower. He's not really in any threat. If you let go of the archer, you're trying to get the wave into your own tower and just trying to get some farm. Get like an early level 3, and then start roaming around. When you do this kind of a double block, you get more time to just sit here and leech XP, but you're in higher risk of dying because you're not farming underneath your tower, and he's going to lose a lane control eventually.
Yeah.
Well, I think you lose lane control quite quickly doing this because, the second wave gets there quite fast, meaning more damage for the enemy creeps. So I think that this is the way for him to get the quick XP, but as you said, more danger. But it's going to. I think the interesting lane here is going to be Drunken Master versus Meraxes because that's not a matchup you see often. I think both heroes are very strong 1v1, and it's really going to come down to will Fuzzy Sloth hit those axes? Because Drunken Master has so much harass with that stagger ability, and just the auto attacks afterwards. Like as you can see now, they're kind of like trading hits back and forth, but Meraxes actually.
Yeah, look at that, too. He even lasted a creep with the hatchet while he's chasing him down. So Fuzzy Sloth all over the place there, but seems like he's harassing him pretty well. And turning out to be a nice little clash here between the two strength heroes going at it.
I don't think you should expect.
Yep.
I don't think you should expect too much from the middle lane here. It's mostly probably just going to be both of them farming, honestly. It's very hard for strength heroes that are like high on HP and high on armor to kill each other, and they don't really need to expose themselves to any danger unless there's rotations from the junglers. But in this game, I really think Tanka's aim is just to get past level 5 and then start pushing bottom.
Mm-hmm. Top lane, Moira going at it with Behemoth right here, but not going to be the biggest deal in the world for him. He does have that Ward of Sight, obviously. Drunken Master versus Meraxes happened once before only, and it was a duel versus duel, apparently. Drunken ended up winning that game, but not a whole lot to take from that, but a fun stat nonetheless. Behemoth, top lane,
yeah.
The dive is real, and Matthias, oh my gosh, that may actually save him, possibly get a turn kill. Wow. That was a huge block right there. He's not out of the woods just yet, literally. Now he's going to run out right here. The Arcane Shards of Harkut's out of range. That's not going to hit. Baba Ganoush goes down, and the block here on Swiftblade. He didn't hit the stun, though, and that could be the difference maker of Swiftblade surviving, and I think it is, yeah. Oh, that was an interesting battle right there.
I think that was a misplay by Baba Ganoush. He had the Spirit up. He could have just spawned the Spirit behind the Behemoth and forced him to run towards the Swiftblade in the trees with the Shards of Archon. But instead he decided to put the stun on himself and dive, which I think that was an easy kill. Just misplayed a little bit.
Yeah, panicked in the moment probably. And you're right though. If he had the mana for both, that definitely would have been. That's the idea of Moira, isn't it? You know plenty of that. It's play it safe because you can.
Yeah.
With that illusion, so. Bottom lane, Puppet Master, I assume, is having free farm down here, and he absolutely is. 23 and 14 now. Midas is 2-1. Level 2 here. Luna's going to box him out. And Sania, you mentioned how Luna really has kind of been stepping up on the scene a bit, and an underrated support, you even think. But we have been seeing, again, attention of her. We see once again here from Reason. Why is Luna actually a good support again all of a sudden, you think?
I think the stun buff is a big deal, but also it has, in general, heroes, they kind of rotate around, depending on how you start playing to here. Like, say you played against Moira now. Moira's been, like, in the meta for a long time. So people are aware now. You always think about, okay, Moira illusion can always be here. It's always in the back of your head. But Luna's one of those heroes right now that I think people don't expect the amount of damage that she outputs.
Yeah.
So therefore, she's really strong.
And this is going to be a bit of that right here. Midas, despite having a double damager in that puppet show, is going to cause all the issues in the world, and a kill for Imbaboy. And yeah, that was the Bloodlust kill, by the way, because the top lane, that was no Bloodlust since the tower technically got the kill. So big news for Imbaboy there.
And Sania, what do you think of Aluna, though, with the skill build? Because we've seen now that last game Complexity was running it, and both games he maxed power throw before maxing the stun or getting a third level in the stun. Do you think that that is always the best way to go, even if you're kind of lacking levels in a way? Or, well, yeah, elaborate.
No, I definitely think, depending on the game, I mean, you should never have, like, this is the skill build, this is how you should always go. It should always depend on the game. I think when it comes to Luna, you gotta look at, alright, are we looking to team fight? If so, you go for the stun. You want the red stun, you want that potential of stunning their entire team. Whereas if it's like a pick-off game with like, say, Fade or stuff like that, I think then you want to go for the red power throw and max that out as soon as possible to get that provided global damage. So it all has to do with your strategy. In this game, I would like him to max the stun because I think they're going to be going for a lot of tower pushes, and they have a lot of damage on their team. But on the other side, they have Puppet, which is a lot of lockdown, but lacks damage, so you can justify it both ways, I think. But personally, I think I would max stun here.
All right, we'll see what Baba Ganoush continues to do moving forward. Level 4 currently, so it does have that 2-2 in there. Junglers, something I haven't paid too much attention to just yet, but looking at the GPM, seems like both are actually doing pretty solid. Tempest even slightly a little better at about 300 gold per minute. Andy's level 6, so we'll see if that push perhaps come in the near future. I mean, the top lane right now, they've given it up, as we can see. Behemoth, in fact, rotating to the bottom. Should you push the top if you're Complexity, seeing that nobody's even up here? Or would that almost not benefit you in the end because then you're giving more room for them to farm? Or is it always good to kill the tower, you think?
I think it's always worth going for that push up here. It will provide them with extra amount of gold. It forces Behemoth to rotate up top. And, oh no.
Bottom lane,
Midas
getting caught. Voodoo Puppet comes out. Is that going to be enough first? It should be. It's holding him in place with the Puppet's hold, and down he goes. Speaking of Behemoth being down here, 4 heroes are here again now. And they are going to push that bottom tower. So perhaps even more reason why pushing top wouldn't be the worst idea here.
It might be too little too late, though. You see that the Legion side, they're already here. The tower's really low. And then, I mean, Tempest is only now rotating over. He does have maxed out elementals, I'm assuming. So that's going to push quite fast. But they're already going for their second tier tower at bottom with those 2 creeps. And, oh man, Behemoth is positioning himself so he can just walk in and ulti anyone's face who walks in right now. So, Midas.
Yeah, this is not good for Midas. Oscar thinks he's being very safe. Not so much. The elemental warp ain't going to matter when you're locked down like that. He goes down yet again. This is going to be a secondary tower kill for Sync Esports. They'll feel this touch coming out.
For Sync.
To heal them up.
I didn't know I was playing.
For Reason Gaming. I see Matthias, man, and that tag, and it just registers like that. But yes, for Reason Gaming. That's always what I meant there. So, but this is huge. I mean, the top tower by Complexity just got pushed, and that was the first tower, though.
I think this is a very key thing, and it's what I wanted to talk about before the game. Like in the series versus us, Complexity was always one step ahead. When we decided, okay, let's go push this tower, they were already on our 2 other towers. In this series right now, Reason Gaming are showing that no, you know what? You might have Sync figured out, but we're too fast for you guys. And they take out these 2 towers before Complexity is able to do the same thing, and this puts them at a massive edge. Right now they're 3,000 gold, 1,200 XP ahead, but more important than that is that Midas does not feel safe in the bottom lane. Midas feels like he has to rotate around and start setting up plays or help his team and be ready for the push in mid. Whereas there really is no threat bottom, but he doesn't know that. It's hard because you don't have the vision, you don't have the towers to have your team TP and back you up. So this is huge for coL. I mean, Reason right now.
Middle lane, Drunken Master. He's putting some pressure on the tower. He has Ghost Marchers, but he does have the Mystic Vestments here, so he's somewhat tanky. Of course, the Untouchable on top, and that would make it difficult. It's going to fall back in the end, but you can tell Complexity not the most ready to necessarily jump in like crazy. Top lane, by the way, Behemoth charged onto Swiftblade, and he actually activated the Shockwave. It was a pretty big creep wave. It did some decent damage, but it wasn't enough in the end. He actually spun out shortly after, before the Fissure Stun hit, and thus he just kind of walked away. So a little bit of a waste there from Matthias, but at the same time, you know, attempted to pick up a kill, which would have been big.
Do you know what Zibba would have said if he was here?
What would he have said?
Would have been a kill on EU.
Oh, yes, of course. That's
oh,
classic.
man.
But it's a crucial moment here in the game because this middle lane right now, the tier 2 tower in the mid, this is usually back in the Stay Green days. This was very important. If you're playing against Stay Green, when they push this tier 2, you have to make a very important decision. Are we defending towers or are we letting all of them go and try to split push? Right now, Complexity are a little bit in between. They're not gathered up, they're not ready to go, or actually, okay, they are defending it. So this is going to be a crucial team fight. If Reason comes out ahead, this is going to give them all the map control in the world. If they lose this fight, it's going to put them on the, okay, can we really keep this push going? And it might throw them off their game. So,
yeah,
very important fight coming up here.
Yeah, this is big. The Elemental Void going to be the big part. Obviously, Behemoth, the Shockwave, still 25-second cooldown. Fissure Stun blocking off a little bit. It's going to get some good tower damage in. Morax is charging in. Going to get there pretty late, though. Does get the Arcane Shield activated right there. Drunken Master's locked down. There's the Elemental Void. It catches Ophelia. Catches Drunken. They're both dead off the bat. And the chase continues. Oh, Luna's going to run. Ain't going to happen, though. Presses R from Swiftblade and cuts right through her. A 3-for-0 exchange. And just as you were talking about, in fact, Mora is still not done, apparently. They're going to end up finding Behemoth. He doesn't do the Shockwave, the Fissure. They want to kill this Midas, or he does more so. Also stay alive. The final auto attack, it's not enough, though. And now Matthias, he's going to have to run Arcane Vortex. And I don't know if it was 100% necessary, but it will help stall him and ultimately get the kill. A 4-for-0 right there. In the end, that big fight does end up in favor of Complexity.
I mean, they used all their abilities before Tempest went in and ulted. It seemed so safe for him as well. Like, Behemoth had just used his Fissure because they were just trying to secure the tower, and then when they got the deny, Complexity was like, okay, we got this. They wasted their Fissure. They wasted a Luna Stun. They wasted Puppet Show as well. They have no way to cancel Tempest. So let's go for it. And that's all they needed. And, I mean, that's really what decided the fight. 2 heroes down without any response from the Legion side.
They also did not the tower. Caught that.
Sorry.
No, that's fine.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. A crucial thing here when you're playing as a team, like, at least what we would do in a similar situation, is, like, we'll have, like, me and Keizu, for example, we'll talk about it, be like, all right, so if I stun, that means you hold your stun for Tempest. And I think Only and Nier didn't do it here, because first Only stunned, and that means Nier needs to sit back and be ready for the Tempest ult and hold the stun, but he also stunned at the same time, so a bit of miscommunication on Reason's side there, leading to that fight going as poorly as it did.
You saw right there, too. Great heads over the Hellborn side. They had a Rev Ward down, and I got to believe that was because they saw Aluna with an Invis rune, and sure enough, it paid off right there. Now, it just so happens it's barely out of range of this lane ward, so if it was also intended for that, you know, a little unfortunate, but in the end, that lane ward is going to be wearing off here soon, so I guess not necessarily the biggest deal in the world, but yeah, after that fight, too, obviously more gold coming to the side of Complexity. Now you got a Quick Blade picked up on Formless, so he's playing more of that carry Swift Blade here, as they tend to do, and seems like he's off to a pretty good start with this farm. Imboboy choosing to go the Assassin Shroud first, by the way.
They really want to be active this game, and once Behemoth gets his PK, I think that they're going to have the edge in the team fights, but if Complexity manages to defend their... I guess their base for long enough, that's what it's going to end up being about, because Tempest Factor, along with the fact that you have such great counter push from Midas, and, well, Moraxis is just great at defending towers with his 2.5 second stun. So, yeah. I think they're kind of on the timer on the Legion side. Once they get their timing with the Behemoth PK, that's really when they need to start maybe even forcing the issue, and then look to really get a substantial lead in this game.
Yep. Drunken Master, we can't forget about either. He's got the Beast Heart actually, and Helm. I'm guessing.
Helm.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
going to the side here. Okay, there you go. I had to think for a second there. I was like, I don't think I'll do Parasite, but yeah, he does get the Helm of the Black Legion. And Sanitarius is something we have actually seen a couple of times on Drunken lately, and the few times we've seen him picked up. So I wonder if Zane's going to look to get that here.
I think in this kind of a game, you should be focusing on the team items. As Shorkan was saying, the game plan is still to push, to force those fights. And if that is, as long as that is the plan, the team items are the optimal way to go. However, I'm curious to see, because Aluna's maxing the power throw, and after that tier 2 fight in the middle, it looks like they've kind of slowed down, but I'm not really sure if it was just like Shorkan said, they're waiting for the blink and then they want to go, or what's up. But if the case is that they're not, then oh no, by Tempest.
Yeah, well, maybe not. Elemental Void's going to be used right here. He is going to survive initially. Transmute hits. He needs to get away, though. Stagger, the auto attack does go off, and you see Swiftblade get in there with a Swift Slash. It's just a little bit too late, though. Untouchable used, but actually Zane will fall. So, I mean, the good news is that Zane at least got the kill on what you got and forced an Elemental Void to be used before falling.
This benefits Reason Gaming. Go ahead.
Yeah, for sure. Like, they used also the Swift Slashes, and this is basically a free pass for the Legion side right now, I feel. And they're setting up middle as well with an Invis on Behemoth.
This is a big opportunity if they get the setup that they're looking for, but I think it's going to be a little bit too late. Shockwave jumped on a Swiftblade with that portal key, looking for the kill, and it's definitely no! The Arcane Vortex will stall it a little bit. He should have a spin coming up here. Yeah, he's going to be able to use it, and he will be fine. So, whew, that Arcane Vortex, pretty clutch there.
That glitched the puppet show so completely. That was unbelievable.
Yeah, that's true. As actually top lane, Aluna, another support, she's going to get caught here. And will get killed in the end, so. God, that team announcer pack, man. Those are funky ones. Anyways. Well, 16 minutes in, Gold says this is a pretty even game right now, but experience, it's a little bit more in favor of complexity.
I honestly think experience really shows which team is leading. In games like these, at least, where the pushing is so important that levels are going to be like all the difference. I mean, you have a Midas, although he doesn't have the highest level right now, he's such a huge counter pusher as well as split pusher that, you know, if he gets more of those levels, he's going to be more valuable than if he had a PK, let's say, because he can do it from relative safety and still be able to get away if they even go on him because of that elemental warp. So complexity definitely have the edge in this game, and if they can hold on, then I really think the game is going to go their way.
Insania, I'm actually curious what you think about what you got's decision to get a portal key here early on in this game.
It's like, I think for them, it has a lot more to do with, okay, how can we avoid taking the fights, right? How can we, like, split push and find pickoffs and not take these straight up 5v5 fights at our towers? And if that's your game plan, then the portal key helps you split push, right? You can go out on the lane, you can feel safe because you can always portal key away, you can portal key across cliffs, you can steal farm in the enemy jungle. And for all those purposes, I think it's great. If they end up using it to fight, I would have much rather seen him go either straight for a Shrunken Head or the old school Astrolabe build. So it comes down to how he decides to play with it, but it could end up being great.
He's going to join the team up here at the top lane because 05 ultimately are going to be up here, and so you can tell complexity of their mindset right now. It's more about kind of grouping up and trying to make a play rather than sit back and farming for the time being, which is a little different for complexity to be fair, but actually are going to steal some triple stack Ancients. I want to say that's triple, but that's, yeah that is triple stacked,
tripled.
And they are going to maybe, they need to be careful though, because you can tell they're aware of it. In fact, Behemoth jumps in. Nope, no, we got killed by the neutrals. Oscar was killed, but Formless gets off a little bit lightly, but he's still dead in the end, so that's a big deal. And they didn't kill most of the Ancients, and they're ultimately going to be killed off by Matthias there, so yeah.
I think it was definitely good for Reason to be able to stop that, because it you know, he got a lot of XP for the Oscar kill, not for the Swiftblade kill, of course, but it's more like they slow down complexity as well, just as they were slowed down before. With Swiftblade dying, that's his first death. And, I mean, that affects him so much more because Puppet Master, in the meantime, has been farming. He's getting Hellflower next, it looks like, and then he's actually maybe able to kill Swiftblade, even if he gets Arcane Vortex, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not Shrunken Head this game. You don't think it's necessary?
It's
is the
definitely
Imba build.
necessary.
Sorry. This is the Imba Boy build. He does this all the time. He goes Shroud, skips the lifesteal, goes straight into Hellflower, and then gets the Shrunken Head if he finds it necessary, or he goes straight for lifesteal. I think I've seen him do this like at least 10, 15 times. So this is something he does a lot.
I still think he should go for a Shrunk in this game, looking at the Hellborn team. I mean, even Swiftblade, he's got a lot of magic damage with that spin.
It's one of those tough spots, isn't it? Because Shrunken's good for mitigating some of that damage, but at the same time, Elemental Void and an Arcane Vortex, so both don't care about it. Although Arcane Vortex, I guess you're not really concerned about that, but Elemental Void obviously doesn't really care too much about the Shrunken. Sure, would mitigate damage while you're in it, I guess, but I can understand why maybe it's not a huge priority here.
Well, the Hellborn side are going to be looking to jump Puppet Master with the double PK on Moraxis and Midas. So it's like, yeah, it's really going to be up to whether he can stay out of the jump, because he's going to start hitting harder with that Hellflower, and to be able to get that damage out, he might need to get that Shrunken. Otherwise, he'll just get focused on. Look at
The way I
Behemoth
see
up
it.
there.
Oh yeah.
That should be good. God, that damage, man. I love that new heavyweight. Or the Enrage, excuse me. It's powerful stuff. Gets the kill.
We need more Cleaver Behemoths.
We do, man. Yeah, Mickey's the only person to do it so far. And it
Yeah.
was beautiful to watch.
Wasn't it? I thought so
was.
too. I was very entertained. No, but I think in this game, what you need to keep in mind is, and this is the smart, like why Imba Boy's draft is so smart, is he has drafted in a way that, okay, so what will the team fight look like? If you try to picture it in your head, you're going to have the Drunken Master running in, you're going to have the Ophelia minions in the front line, then you're going to have the Aluna. And for the Hellborn, it's like, okay, you got to keep in mind, Behemoth is kind of like a Tempest, right? You don't want to get multi-stunned by Behemoth. You don't want to let him jump you with the ult. So Midas and Moraxis are always going to be careful if they initiate. If Moraxis blinks in and tries to catch anyone, it's probably going to be the frontline heroes that they can see, which are Drunken Master and Ophelia. This means Puppet has the choice of timing his initiation. He can sit back, wait, and decide, okay, Moraxis went in, Midas uses combo, alright, that means I'm safe to go in. And therefore, I don't really think he needs that Shrunken Head necessarily. There is nothing like a Magnus, you know, that does damage over a long period of time. It is a burst of damage, and then it's done. So all it comes down to is Imba Boy being patient enough to wait out those abilities and then go in for his initiation. And I think he is one of the best carries in the game when it comes to that. Timing his initiation correctly in the fight.
Especially on Clanks. It's easy to
Dude,
do that
yeah.
with, so.
Oh, gosh.
Flying around there with the Hawk. Waza did mention that Clanks is getting a couple of touches here as far as an upcoming patch. So, but no, yeah, as far as player skill level goes, definitely Imba Boy is most certainly up there in terms of that positioning. So, pause here from Reason, it looks like.
What do you think Behemoth is going to be going for with that Robe of Magi? I mean, there's not a lot that it can be. Yeah, no? I mean, do you really like Resto's second item after PK though, Aiden? Or Insania, sorry?
I've learned not to question Only. It's just how it is. We had him, I played with him like back in NK, I don't know if this is like way back, but old school. So he would buy Phase Boot Pebbles into Blink, and then he goes Geometer's Bane and Staff. And you'd go, okay, but Only, I don't think that's ideal. And he's like, okay, watch me. And then he just does things. And then it just works. So when it comes to Only, he's kind of like Mickey. You don't question him. You let him do his thing. It works out. Amazing. It doesn't. You're like, are you sure that was the right decision? Then he's like, maybe not. But you don't really question him in the moment. You let him do his thing. And I think the same thing goes for Reason Gaming here. If he wants to go Resto, he goes Resto. It's just how it is.
Yeah. Interesting stuff there. Meanwhile, catch on to Drunken Master. He has the Untouchable up. He's been getting some damage right here. Is it going to be enough as a question in the end? No, it's not. Zane goes down. So another Elemental Void used, but no, never mind. That wasn't Elemental Void. What am I saying? That was Arcane Vortex that caught him initially. So they still have the Elemental Void, the Portal Key Tempest here. In fact, they're going to maybe, no, not really, apparently. not comfortable to do Kongor still. And
I completely understand. I mean, level 11 Behemoth, you don't want to go Kong against that. And it's not like Swiftblade can solo Kong in a timely fashion, so they might as well just go push bottom.
Yeah. I would like to see spell shards on Behemoth. Honestly, we actually see it a fair amount. It seems like that's actually becoming more and more of a popular follow-up to the portal key for Behemoth. But
I kind of like it as well, but it still seems more of like I'm stomping. Let's not really take this game that seriously anymore. Blah blah. I don't know, but fight at top is going to be happening. Maybe?
Yeah, maybe more. And the illusion's going to die off pretty quickly. It didn't have an Arcane Vortex, so they will deny the tower, and that'll be that. But that's now the last outer tower dead. So now you're looking at base towers. We're only 23 minutes into this game right now, for recent gaming at least. So we'll see if they're going to be able to break through here. Hellflower is going to be finished on Imba Boy.
It looks pretty funny to see him only have a Shroud, Steam Boots, and a Hellflower. No build-up at all. I mean, usually some other carriers have either a Mystic Vestments or a Power Supply, something just to, make him a bit more tanky and just have more mana, something like that. But Imba Boy is just saying, okay, I'm just going to get my items, I'm going to get my next item, it doesn't matter, I don't need any progression. Because, I mean, to be honest, he hasn't really been fighting after that fight at mid.
Yeah.
So I understand. If he had gone any of those items, he should have gone them before. Before
that's
the
so
fight
ironic. He just picked up 2 minor totems.
Yeah. Because
Hey, 23-minute minor totems. Classic.
Naked. Might as well
and
fill
it's
them
just
up.
it's the weirdest thing because I'm talking about it and then he picks up minor totems. It's like, oh, I'm listening, man. gonna fill up my inventory.
Yeah. That's funny timing, but yeah, I know he has it. If that was Probusk, no, he would definitely have a Grave Locket and Mystic Vestments. But yeah, just different taste for certain carry players, most certainly. So, Swiftblade gonna finish off the Ancients right here. Looks like Formless is going possible Assassin Shroud. I have to guess with that Steam staff here. So to follow up the Frostburn. I mean, the last time Mystery Gang yesterday, he went the staff of the or not staff, Rune Cleaver first, and kind of transitioned from there. And he didn't go an Assassin Shroud, I don't think, though. Maybe he did actually. But anyways, Assassin Shroud after the Frostburn and carry Swiftblade here. You guys like it?
I think it could also be the Wingbow. We should keep the door
yeah.
open as well. It's Puppet isn't really like the ideal MKB. Savage Mace hero. Thank you. And with the build that he's gone for right now, it's like all-out damage, right? He's gone Hellflower Shroud. So this is, I don't know if this is how Formless is thinking, but it could be what he's thinking. That okay, he went for these all-out damage items. If I can force him to go Savage Mace, he's gonna be so easy to kill if I ever manage to catch him.
Yeah.
So this is kind of like playing on his mind and being like, okay, well, if he doesn't want to be that squishy, then he has to go for another item in between, and that means my Wingbow might be the teamfight winner. But it could also just as well be the Shroud, and they go for this map control play, which is very typical complexity. Dodge and avoid. Shroud is amazing for that. Setting up kills, getting these solo kills, looking for those opportunities. So both things, I think, are very viable here, and strong items on Swiftblade for sure.
Okay.
And this is very typical owned me right now, sitting in the woods over there. He does that so often, even in TMM. I've played with him. He just ends up sitting somewhere in the woods waiting for someone to pop up. The guy's patience is insane.
Well, God, what was it? It wasn't yesterday. I don't think. Anyways, he played Deadwood in a recent game.
Yeah.
And he was just camping the trees. And it honestly got to a point where it was just like, what are you doing? Because it wasn't actually getting kills out of it, and it was just a lot of downtime. But it's the idea that, it could possibly set up kills. So, but I guess, yeah, that's just his style. He likes to camp out, and he can be patient, which I would never be. I would never do that.
No, he lives in the woods in real life, too. So I think a lot of it comes from there. He lives out in the jungle, so he's comfortable there. He spent a lot of time there. He knows what it's like.
Relate to it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It's definitely gone both before. It's just, what does he go this game? And the way he's pulling up gold right here on Swiftblade, it does feel a little bit more like the Wingbow now. Granted, but yeah, you're right. I wouldn't be surprised if he's kind of saving it for the moment of when he's for sure what Puppet's going to do. You do see the Mighty Blade on Puppet, so looks like the
Spell shards.
Okay.
There we go.
And there you go.
Yep.
How do you feel? How do you feel about Resto Stone? Because I don't know. Znui constantly brings it up that he hates the item on Behemoth, and part of me I can kind of see why, but it seems like it's still pretty good at the same time. So
I don't know. How can you dislike Resto Stone? It's like the most epic item in the game on any hero. Tempest, Resto ult, Behe Resto ult. It's like it's not about what you do with it. It's about the potential. Like to just 5-minute ult everyone twice,
yeah, it's
right?
fun.
Like. Exactly. Like, why wouldn't you go for Resto? Like, why Spell Shard? Spell Shard isn't cool. Nobody can see you get more damage out of it. It's like, oh, they just died. They probably would have died anyways. But with Resto, it's like, boom! And then it goes, Resto, boom! And everything dies. You gotta, I don't know, you can't only look at what's good. You gotta look at, like, the scare factor as well, right?
Yeah.
You just double B ult them. They're gonna be scared. There's also, I think, this is, like, why it's so cool and Han is, like, such a great game, because there's also the mind games. It's not only the numbers, right? The players don't know that the game is 18 gold ahead in one team's favor. They probably, Hellborn probably thinks, oh, we're way behind, or Legion thinks, yeah, we're way ahead. And the mental game is just as important, I think. And when you get double rest ulted by someone, it just breaks you down. I think, just for that reason, it's an awesome item.
Okay. Interesting take. All right.
It does more than you think.
Sure.
I think it's a bigger boom. That's always a nicer effect, you know, just one boom and everybody's dead. Then you really fear the Behemoth. I mean, Resto, it makes the second ultimate a lot weaker than the first one if something's already dead. And that's my main issue with the Resto Stone on Behemoth. That's why I prefer seeing, like, just utility items, because there's enough damage coming out from Behemoth already. I mean, Spell Shards, like, okay. You want more damage, sure, you know, don't question owned me, but at the same time, what if Puppet Master gets caught? He's relying completely on the fact now that Imboboy is going to have a perfect game in those team fights, making sure to never get caught. And actually, as I say, that tank effect picks up a Storm Spirit.
He's got him.
Man.
Backups there. Yeah, so at least they have the one Storm Spirit here. No, it's a valid point, though. It definitely is. It's really that give and take of, do they feel like they need more damage or more of the safe factor? And I mean, having Drunken, having a puppet, you figure that they're going to have some pretty good damage, ideally, in these fights. So, yeah, I think you could argue the tablets of the Storm Spirits might have been a better investment, but likes that big. And as Insanity was saying, I mean, hell, there's a little bit of that mental game, though, you know, knowing that if he does jump in now with these Spell Shards, it's even that much more damage. He's going to be scared if you're the Hellborn side.
It was a lot more fun when Spell Shards reduced the cooldown of your abilities as well.
Yeah.
That's when it was, like, great.
And it's upgradable too, wasn't it? It has to different levels, Times have changed.
Item was great. We saw it all the time. Such a good item.
Yeah, such a good item.
Can't believe they changed it.
What were they thinking?
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Goddamn S2.
Yeah.
About that. Top lane, Swiftblade's pushing in the top, but he's actually going to start falling back as Reason knocking on the door here. We have the token.
Also, Behemoth is constantly missing. And they don't have any vision of him, so he has right to be afraid. Behemoth is a perfect setup right now if Swiftblade wants to push. So they're just gonna use the token. Is he gonna last hit it? Yep. No.
Fuzzy, man.
Now
This
it's
guy's
exposed.
so good. Can we take a moment to talk about Fuzzy? Like,
Sure.
seriously, he's so good. I just have to say it. He's so good. He's like, I don't know. He's amazing. He's such a good player. I think he's one of the guys that I've, like, over the course of this last season, he's, like, stepped up his game so much.
Yeah.
I remember, like, in the early cycles. Oh, teamfight?
Very possible. Is she going to catch somebody with the Arcane? No. It's not to.
Okay, let's talk about Fuzzy. So early cycles. No, early cycles, it was always like, because he would play Suicide, right? And it would always be like, oh, Fuzzy, this guy's easy. And now he's like one of, I don't know, I feel like he's one of the better players, like one of the guys that you notice the most.
Yeah.
And who, like, impresses you the most. And it's really cool to see, like, the evolution from cycle 1 to now as he goes in.
There we go, the big jump on a puppet. Not really, though. The follow-up, not necessarily. They don't want to go all out, obviously, on the token puppet here, so Drunken Master caught in the background. And Elemental Void. Yes, he catches 3. It's not going to be stopped right here. Do they have enough follow-up? Apparently, they don't really. In the background, Shockwave goes off. But Swiftblade, he was immune to it. But the Voodoo Puppet will eventually finish him. FuzzySloth going back in, though. Arcane Shield is up. Swiftblade, by the way, he bought back. Ophelia at half-life. Puppet Master trying to live right now. Moraxis not going to be able to chase him down because of that Puppet show. But Puppet Master... you do see Drunken going back in. He's going to be sent back. That's why. Can they somehow chase down this Puppet? It doesn't look like it. Ophelia will get caught at least, and it does end up being 3 kills. Now, at least 1. It looks like 2 buybacks did happen for Complexity, though.
It was really... yeah, it was so close, but the main problem was that Onmi did not get an ultimate off. His ultimate was completely wasted because... You know, that new Shroud pickup on Formless did a lot more in that teamfight than I originally thought it would. He just snuck up on Behemoth, standing a bit out of position, and the ultimate was wasted. That would have been the turning factor in that fight, I think. There was a Shrunken on Tempest up, so he wasn't too confident in jumping in there, but had he been able to catch the Miraxis and the Midas and maybe even the Moira, then it would have been a one fight for Reason, I think. Even with the buyback coming up from Swiftblade.
Yeah, but did you see the Tempest ult? It was like 1 frame from catching that Skeleton King. But I mean,
yeah.
that was amazing positioning from the Skeleton King. They're canceling the ult like after what, a second?
Oh, you're right. Yeah, now I'm watching the replay again. Wow.
It was like frame perfect. Oh, so close, so close.
It was like a 2-second ultimate, 2.5-second ultimate coming out from Tempest. So there was slight delay.
2.5? Was it really that
long?
long?
Come on.
I don't think
it was pretty
long.
long.
Like a second. He blinked
it was
and
decently long.
I think it was about a second.
I don't know. I think Tankafet, teamfight winner, definitely.
Well, did they win the teamfight?
Oh, I don't know, but hey, if they won, Tankafet
if they had won that, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you know,
okay.
You can't really tell until the game is over, right? Then you can be
no,
like,
but at the same time, though, they lost that teamfight because Onvi didn't get a good ultimate off.
No, you can't. Okay, listen. This is something you need to know. Only.
I think both were. Both were teamfight winners.
Okay, but it wasn't not getting the ulti off. It was the team not being positioned properly, so Onmi could sit far enough back so that he could get an ulti off. It's never Onmi's fault. Need to clarify
okay.
This.
Okay. No, but I mean, I think there's so many factors, like, you know, that makes up a team fight. I mean, you can't just say that. I can't just say that Onmi being, or you know, what you were saying, Reason being out of position for Onmi's ultimate, blah blah blah. That was the biggest mistake. Of course, it was great from Tankafet to cancel the skeleton, but that's the reason, I think, for that fight. Top lane, by the way, someone dying.
Maybe. You would hope so. Drunken Master, though, he has the Untouchable coming up here. He ain't going to be able to get it off. Hellflower to follow it and gets the kill.
I would say that Tankafet was the reason why Puppet Master didn't also lose his token and die.
Yeah.
With canceling that Tempest ultimate.
Oh,
no. Yeah, I agree.
He knows he's in a little bit of trouble. The wall off, though, not going to be much of a wall. As Moira coming in with the illusion. If she can catch Behemoth, no. Just out of range. However, it doesn't matter, apparently. As they're still going to follow up for the kill. So, Onmi getting caught, and actually Elemental Void, no. Tempest jumping in, though, and he gets Hellflowered as he does. That didn't go as planned.
Okay, can we talk about Fuzzy? First, he dodges the Behemoth stun. Then he catches Onmi in the trees. He's the only guy that knows. Onmi's always in the trees. Onmi always has the edge in the trees. But Fuzzy's like, nah. Dude, this is mine.
I got to clarify. He didn't dodge a stun. I mean, that was honestly just placed a little too far ahead.
No. Onmi doesn't do mistakes. I thought we talked about this.
It was all calculated. You're right. He was expecting him to, like, portal key that far. Probably
exactly.
The case. Okay.
He just read the game. He just knows, man. He's so good.
Great players. It's so hard in Sania to really tell what's troll and what's real with you sometimes.
Okay, but to be honest, you gotta be like, okay, so there's 2 ways to look at it. You can look at it as Onmi missing his stun, or you can say Fuzzy was amazing and dodged it, right? Both are kind of true, in a way, because he was like positioning himself correctly so Onmi's stun wouldn't hit him. And I just choose to see it from the positive side that, yeah, he knew. Of course he knew that Onmi was going to blink and stun.
Okay.
And then it just looks like a huge play instead of being like disappointed with Onmi missing it.
Okay.
That's just how you want to look at it.
I can respect that. The cup half full kind of mentality instead of half empty. There you go.
And, sometimes some people do come across maybe a little bit more negative, me included, always looking at the mistakes. But I like criticizing, man. I can't do it any better, but I like to criticize regardless.
I know, it's fun, right? Yeah, as a caster,
it's so much fun.
You talk crap about all these players and how bad they are, and yet I would never be able to make these plays, but awesome time. No. Aluna, that was just the illusion, so getting a little bit of attention. That was scouting things out and getting some information there for the team. Kongor is not up just yet, so never mind. Thought they might have been thinking about it, but not being up causes an issue with that, so... Swiftblade, though, I saw him purchase, there we go, in fact. The Genjiro delivered, has that in full now. So I know you said you liked the idea of the Assassin Shroud, but what about getting a full Genjiro now?
I think he's going to split it up for Wingbow Shroud. He's done that before.
Okay. Yeah, that's true, you can do that.
Yeah, and it's just, Genjiro is so much of a better item than now starting to build the Wingbow by getting the dancing, what's it called, the Steam Staff and the Snake Bracelet, right?
Yes.
I'm assuming that's what it's called.
You got it.
That's a guess. It's a snake bracelet, yeah. And it's just nicer item progression. But the Wingbow should definitely be the target, I think.
Is it, though? Puppet already going for that Savage Mace.
Yeah.
I personally really like Genjiro. I think it's a really cool item. I think it's... Like, the difference between Genjiro and Shroud is, like, when you get Genjiro, you got Genjiro. You're, like, scary, right? You're this carry that can be invisible twice, can crit twice. It's just like Resto Stone.
Yeah.
Everything twice. It's just so much scarier to go up against.
Yeah.
He could invis in on you, hit you, run away.
It does feel a lot better having a Genjiro compared to Assassin Shroud. Yeah, I understand that, definitely.
Yeah, so I really like it. Definitely.
I love the Genjiro as well. He's going to eventually get it again if he makes the Wingbow now. But it's just the Wingbow has such a big effect because... if he manages to get it, Imaboy is going to go for the Savage, but it's so much more than that. It's also Drunken Master getting in those auto attacks, as well as maybe he's going to dodge the, the Enrage, 375% base damage from Ondmi. If he dodges that, it'll be because he's incredibly skilled and got the Wingbow instead,
Exactly. No, but I think an important thing to note here is, like, okay, so if you want to look at it, like, as actual players instead of just hyping it up, Drunken does not have attack speed. So every chance of dodging one of his hard hits, he hits hard, but he hits seldom. So if you dodge one of them, it can have a huge impact in a fight with the Wingbow. So therefore, it's a really good item against Drunken until he finishes up the Demonic. But as soon as he has Demonic, if you have high attack speed, I don't think the dodge percentages matter as much. You don't notice it as much, at least.
Okay.
It's kind of like how crit works. How crit is always like scarier than like reliable same damage on every hit. Because you could just get like 5 crits in a row, and then it's like you're dead. And it's kind of the same thing with Wingbow.
Yeah, that's why Taro is OP, right?
Right. You see her every
right.
game.
Every game.
Hey, we've seen her. Unlike Hammerstorm.
Nobody's picked Hammerstorm?
Nobody's
nobody has picked Hammerstorm. He's the only hero that has not been picked ever.
Okay,
Other than Calamity, but who cares?
Next time we're playing.
Hammer's not big? Hammer? No, Hammer's not picked.
Hard carry Hammer. What do you mean?
Really? Why would you? Oh my God!
B-Kid doesn't play Han anymore.
No, okay. I need to clear this out because this is a huge misunderstanding. Mickey didn't quit Han. He quit the team.
Well, first I said B-Kid, not Mickey.
Oh, okay, sorry.
But that's interesting. Okay.
My head is just Mickey. It's the only thing I think.
But yeah, I was making a joke about B-Kid and Hammerstorm and stuff. So
they liked Hammer.
They did.
Old Complexity.
Yes.
Look at this courier play coming out from Complexity, by the way.
Yeah, they're scouting out the Kongor. There was a little bit of an attempt on it, but quickly thwarted off right there. This is definitely turned into, and is anyone surprised, a very looky game. Not a whole lot of touching, though, as far as interaction goes. Kongor is going to promote some fight possibility from these teams.
Recent Gaming has really good vision here. I like the words up from near. He's kind of covered the 2 main angles. There is a 3rd angle that they could potentially come from, but it's very rare. It's usually either through the mid here or they try to initiate from the high ground. And man, they say they're so scared. Nobody really knows what's going on. And this is late game right now. Okay, so their Skypes, they're so scared. Both teams, They're so scared right now. They're just, oh my god, they could be anywhere. Because you have no idea. Late game, both teams are always grouped up as 5. There's very rarely that people are really split up and they're not together. So if you see someone, you see one hero, you assume they're all there. And therefore you get these kind of stalemates because both teams are so scared. You don't know what's going on. It's really hard to read the game. You're trying to like look at the lane position and be like, okay, they're not top, right? Because the top lane is pushed out. They're not, doesn't look like they're bottom. Doesn't look like they're mid. All right, they're probably around Kong Pit or our Ancients.
Or they're right on top of us with Veiled Rot, which is going to be the case right now. Drunken Master jumping in with a shrunken head. Going to find Tempest. Already about half-life. Puppet Master going in, but the Swift Slash is on him. Doing a lot of damage. Puppet Master barely survives. The Shockwave comes out. Shrunken Head's mitigating plenty, though. Miraxis, he's going to pop the Matrax. We'll be fine for now. Puppet Master, did he manage to live? Oh my god, he's actually alive, but the Elemental Void and catches everyone! And they clean them up. A double tap in the end for Oscar. What happened to Puppet? He bought back immediately, didn't he?
Yeah.
So he did die, but he bought back, so it was a genocide, and Kongor is now going to be killed by Complexity. I have a feeling they played that pretty well.
Oh, that was so beautiful. They initiated on Tempest. What you got is like a boss. He's like, dude, guys, just keep fighting. I got buyback. They don't even know. And he just baits them all, and then he buys back, blinks in, Meteor, 5-man host, boom, team fight over. I love that. Amazing. Really nice.
So yeah, he bought back as well. That's what kind of threw me off there, yeah, because he died off the bat, and I also got confused about Puppet and whether or not he died, so. But the clutch buyback, it was definitely real. It's unfortunate because I literally went away right as Tempest jumped in, trying to find Puppet Master, but then I got back to it pretty quickly, so.
And what's so great, it was like, he knew, man. He was so confident when he blinked in there. He just blinked in, meteored, then he shrunk in, then he ulted. He was like, no doubt, I got all of them, and I'm going to do extra damage with my meteor so I look better on the charts. He knew. That was, I love it. Perfect.
Yeah, the meteor is really when you're confident. It's just like, I got this. I know what's going to happen. And, I mean, I got to say, really well played from, really well played from Formless. He managed to get the crit. He critted on purpose on the last hit on Puppet. He had like,
that was so big.
I don't know, 300 health left, and he was like, I'm going to crit this guy, and he got critted down. And that was what took Puppet down in the end.
Yeah.
Quite unfortunate. I mean,
sorry, go ahead.
they, like, the Storm Spirit needed to come in earlier from Tankafet to save Puppet Master there. That was the only way they could have salvaged that fight.
He was shrunken in it, to be fair.
True, but
So
yeah, it's just at the start. He wasn't.
That's a fight that determines a game like this right now, as far as.
I mean, this could be the series, you know? Like, as someone who played a lot of Tempest once upon a time, in a mystical world, when you get that 5-man hole, like, what you got right now, he's so pumped. He has all the confidence in the world. And when you got someone, like, in that situation right now, I'm so sure their team is really motivated. They feel like, we've got this, we're about to beat Reason, second place DreamHack team. We got this. They're so confident right now. They just beat Sync, probably feel pretty good about that. And now this, turning this game around, I think they're feeling so good right now.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't necessarily equate a victory, though, just yet, because Reason came in, they're definitely going to hold. And Swiftblade need to be pretty careful right there. Is token for 240 on it. But currently at half life, so yeah, I don't think that they're going to be able to push with it in the end. They are going to fall back and maybe wait a little bit longer, heal up with the Abyssal Skull. Perhaps regroup and go for a try here again.
I want to be making sure to sit in the woods. His natural habitat.
Is he in there? Of course. Yep, he's hiding.
He's like in the woods right now, trying to find a way to figure out how to win this game.
Tankafet's also in the woods. Not for long, though. Easily found, and I'm sure it's pretty obvious now that they have a Ward of Sight here, but they got a kill out of it, so still very worth it. And you see Reason's going to have to play it very safe now. Sitting in their base here. Again, the question is, are they actually going to try to push in? The token under 2 minutes now.
I mean,
they have the opening. No Ophelia heal.
Yeah, but to be fair, Omi's been in the trees for a long time right now. He's like training right now. He's like preparing himself for this fight. The longer he stays there, the more powerful he becomes.
He's getting more crit chance like a Demon Hunter in Diablo 3.
Wow, crossover here. Anyways, jump from the Hellborn team on a Puppet Master. The Elemental Void, that's not going to be stopped. Down goes Puppet. Drunken Master, he's able to mitigate plenty of the damage himself, but now he needs to get away. Caught by the arcane
Was that Swift
vortex,
Slashes?
though.
That was
it
Swift Slashes.
inside. Yes, it
And they
was.
continue?
He bounces out. He gets the kill on Ophelia. There's the kill on a Trucket, and that could possibly be the game right there. Swift played. He's going all the way to the well. Gets the hat trick in the end. And GG, well played. Game 1 to Complexity Gaming over Reason Gaming here in the Grand Finals, best of 3. What a game that turned out to be.
My God. The great ultimate again from Tempest. They had no cancel with Tankfed not having any